Good morning to all of you. We are approaching towards the cadaver. Now I am standing on the right side of the cadaver, and here the specimen of the cadaver of the thoracic region can be seen clearly with its ribs and the sternum and the intercostal spaces which are filled with the muscles. Here the suprasternal notch, the body manubrium and the body of the sternum. The sternal angle can be located as a surface landmark at which we can locate the second rib. Second rib can be seen. Here we can count the intercostal spaces. This is the clavicle, just below it the first rib, second rib, first intercostal space, second intercostal space, third intercostal space, fourth and fifth intercostal space. So these are the intercostal spaces according to their number in a sequence from above downwards. This is the left side, the first rib, second rib, third rib, fourth rib and the fifth rib. These are the intercostal spaces: first intercostal space, second intercostal space, third, fourth and fifth intercostal space. As per the surface marking, clinically important intercostal spaces, we can locate the second intercostal space for the purpose of pulmonary valve location, then the third intercostal space for the purpose of aortic valve location, then fourth intercostal space to locate the nipple, and the fifth intercostal space for the apex beat. So based on this, we can understand the importance of the intercostal spaces clinically. Now we can approach towards the intercostal muscles. As the intercostal spaces are filled with the intercostal muscles and the neurovascular bundle, now we see the three intercostal muscles. One is the external intercostal muscle, second one is the internal intercostal muscle, third is the innermost intercostal muscle, which is of three muscles. Now we can see the cadaver in which the upper limb has been dissected and the pectoralis major and minor are removed, and here we can see the serratus anterior muscle also removed, and with its 8 digitations we can locate the serratus anterior muscle. After removing these muscles, we can locate the intercostal spaces. Now we can observe the intercostal spaces clearly with its muscles, whatever the visibility with a pointed forceps is of external intercostal muscle. Now we'll discuss about the origin and insertion of these three muscles. The basic concept of the intercostal muscles: the external intercostal muscle is located more prominently on the lateral side as well as on the posterior side than the anterior side, because on the anterior side it is filled with the membrane, and in the same manner the internal intercostal muscle on the posterior side it is filled with the membrane. Now we can see here the membrane is located, which is of external intercostal muscle. Then on the posterior side we could see the posterior intercostal membrane, which is a continuation of the internal intercostal muscle. Now we can approach towards the external intercostal muscle. Here we can see the origin. This is the rib below, probably it is the sixth rib. We can count the rib numbers even. Sixth rib, then just above it fifth rib. So in between them we can locate the upper border of the sixth rib and the lower border of the fifth rib. The external intercostal muscle is taking origin from the sixth rib upper border and is going to insert on the lower border of the sixth rib. Now we can see the direction of fibers. The external intercostal muscle fibers, they are running downwards and forwards. This is what the appearance of the muscle fibers. They are running downwards and forwards as they reach the costochondral junction. Now we can locate all these muscle fibers. Now we'll approach towards the membrane. Now we can see here, this is occupied by the membrane. Here you can locate. Then in the same manner we'll try to appreciate the internal intercostal muscle. This is the second intercostal space which we have traced now for the purpose of internal intercostal muscle. This is the view in which the forceps is located. You can see the direction of muscle fibers which is directed laterally. This is of the internal intercostal muscle. In the same manner, like the external intercostal muscle, internal intercostal muscle also taking origin from the rib below and is going to insert on the rib above. That means first we consider the second rib and the third rib. Third rib is giving origin for the internal intercostal muscle, the superior border, and it's going to insert on the inferior border of the second rib. This is what the direction of the muscle fibers. They are directed downwards and laterally. They are directed downwards and laterally. Now it is clear. Now we are able to see the two muscles, external intercostal muscle with its membrane here and the internal intercostal muscle clearly. The external intercostal muscle fibers are directed downwards and forwards. Then the internal intercostal muscle fibers are directed downwards and laterally. We can see that the external intercostal muscle fibers are directed medially, internal intercostal muscle fibers are directed laterally at this junction. So now it's a time to see the posterior aspect of the anterior thoracic wall. Now we'll reflect the posterior aspect of the anterior thoracic wall, in which we are aimed to see the glistening appearance is because of the parietal pleura. We can see the glistening appearance here and there. This is because of the parietal pleura, and I will show you the reflection of the parietal pleura even. This is what held in my hand is the parietal pleura. We can reflect it. After reflecting it, we can reach the intercostal spaces even. Intercostal spaces. These are the intercostal spaces. And here, these are the cut end of the thoracic cage. I'll repeat once again. We are closing it from the side of both sides of rib cages. Here on the laterally in the mid axillary line, we are cutting it with the bone cutter exactly in the mid axillary line. The both sides, right side as well as left side. This is of left side, this is a right side, and we are cutting it horizontally even at the level of Lewis angle to reflect it. So again we are reflecting in this manner. Now directly we are able to see the lungs. The motile blackness of lungs can be seen, right lung as well as left lung. Here we can see the pericardium and the ligaments. Sternopericardial ligaments also can be seen clearly. Then we can approach towards the cut ends of the thoracic cage. Here the cut ends of the thoracic cage, if you observe, this is the rib, this is again another rib. In between them there is a gap called as intercostal space. Now we are trying to locate the neurovascular bundle. So which is located here, you can see my fingers is showing the intercostal nerve exactly at the lower border of the rib, where we can locate the costal groove. It can be seen clearly. Now, yes, intercostal nerve can be seen clearly. This is the white colored one. I'll try to show you the vein and artery and nerve appearance also. Here we can see the intercostal nerve, and here the black colored appearance is of the intercostal vein, and along with that there is the intercostal artery and the nerve, intercostal nerve. Now I will show you the openings of the blood vessels. Here we can appreciate the openings of the blood vessels. This is what the veins opening, vein opening, then artery and the nerve. Nerve is a solid one. We can appreciate the nerve easily. Now this is what the purpose of the dissection, and now we will see as we are approaching. So that means as we are approaching the nerve, so definitely we have crossed the innermost intercostal muscle. Few slings of the innermost intercostal muscle have been cut, and now we are able to see the neurovascular bundle. This is the rib above, this is the rib below, this is the intercostal space. Intercostal space has its own upper border and the lower border. So now it is clear that we are able to locate the neurovascular bundle along the lower border, that means the costal groove, and in between the innermost and the internal intercostal muscles and the upper border of the intercostal space of corresponding area number. So now it is clear. Now we can see, I will repeat, this is what the parietal pleura we had reflected. Then we had approached towards the intercostal space between the ribs, and the lower border of the rib above is traced for the purpose of the neurovascular bundle. Now we can see the fibers of transversus thoracis can be seen here. This is the part of the innermost intercostal muscle. Fibers both sides we can see the fibers of innermost intercostal muscle, and along with that now we'll see. Now we came to know about the external intercostal muscle with its direction of fibers, then internal intercostal muscle, then innermost intercostal muscle also after reflecting the thoracic cage. Now this is a time to see about the vessels which are supplying this one. So we are just able to observe the anterior thoracic wall only, so that the venous drainage is supplied, or the venous drainage is by the azygous system of veins. The azygous system of veins can be located properly in the posterior thoracic wall. While discussing or dissecting the posterior thoracic wall, we can see the azygous system of veins clearly, but here along with the anterior thoracic wall or the cage, from the posterior approach, we can see this is the internal thoracic vein, this is the internal thoracic artery. Internal thoracic artery and the internal thoracic vein, these two can be located clearly. So we can trace from above downwards. Then as far as the neurovascular bundle concerned, and it is getting a nerve supply from the intercostal nerves. The intercostal nerves, one or two we have traced. One which I had shown you clearly, this one, and here also one more intercostal nerve has been traced. You can trace it from all the intercostal spaces. And the arterial supply is getting its arterial supply mainly from the internal thoracic artery and the posterior intercostal arteries and anterior intercostal arteries. They will anastomose with each other in the costal groove itself. And this is what the purpose of today's dissection or the prosection demonstration. Now I repeat once again. Now we are able to observe the thoracic cage from the superior view. I am standing on the right side of the table or the cadaver. Now we are able to observe the sternum, the manubrium, the body, and bilaterally you can see the costae or the ribs have been expanded. In between them we tried to locate the intercostal space which is filled with the muscles, and here we can see the lateral side in the mid-axillary line. We are able to locate the external intercostal muscle with its fibers which are directed downwards and forwards. We can call them as medially towards the costochondral junction. Again we can locate the same fibers which is replaced with the anterior costal membrane, intercostal membrane. So here you can see. Then the internal intercostal muscle can be seen here with its fibers directed downwards and laterally, backwards we can call them as. Then the posterior intercostal membrane can be seen on the posterior wall. During posterior wall dissection you can see it clearly. Then you can locate the intercostal spaces, second, third, fourth and fifth intercostal spaces. As their importance increases, from second, intercostal space is important for the purpose of pulmonary valve, then third one is for the aortic valve, fourth one is for the nipple, and fifth one is for the apex beat or the apex of the heart location. Then we reflect the thoracic cage. We try to see immediately after reflection of the thoracic cage, we are able to see the lungs, then the sternopericardial ligaments, then the glossy or shiny appearance of the parietal pleura, and we have reflected the parietal pleura and we are approaching towards the intercostal space, and here and there the ribs are there, and just below the ribs we are able to see the intercostal nerves. This is the cut end of the ribs, and here we can see the neurovascular bundle. My thumb is showing the neurovascular bundle, and here we can locate the internal thoracic artery. So this is what the intercostal space, the thoracic wall, anterior thoracic wall especially, the discussion and with its muscles and the neurovascular bundle. Thank you very much.